It's not beer pong. It's not cornhole. It's Pop Darts. And it's taken over the sports world one suction cup at a time. From ESPN's Top 10 to your living room table, this is What's Poppin', the most satisfying sports podcast in the world, with Mr. T and the commish. The game, the players, the wild moments you can't script, and the laughter that comes with it. Two guys, one league, zero filter. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 7. We've got no theme today. It's all vibes. We're just going to roll into it and see where we end up.
I like that. After the last episode, we got some awesome content from Jason. It was a lot of fun with him, and so yeah, we're just gonna kind of roll. We're gonna kind of sit back, have a good time, ask some Pop Darts questions. I'm really excited about the segment.
Oh yeah, we got a good one today.
That the Boomer and Gen Z, that I don't know if that turned out better than I thought it would, but it was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was great.
Was very happy with the way that turned out. And let's get back to Jason real quick. How great was that interview last week?
Oh man, I mean, he opened up about some stuff that I didn't know. I worked with the guy, and that was really cool to see. It's really cool to see how much he cares about the community and the people, but also that they're always innovating. So they are not done. I think that's one thing that you can take away from that interview is they probably are just getting started.
I believe so,
and I think that
for sure
is exciting. Any good Pop Darts moments? Anything funny? Anything that's happened in your world over the last week?
Well, we did a live a few nights ago, and we had a really cool shot, and we posted it online. I think Colton posted it on the socials yesterday, which would be, let's see, what is today? Today's Sunday, so Saturday he posted it. And so he hit a T-knobber and then throw a couple darts. He hits the T-knobber again, knocks it off, and one of the darts lands like double doinks right next to the target, but we can't figure out which one it is. And so it's just they just get so mixed up in there that it's hard to follow which one is which, if it's the T-knobber that doinked off and landed, or if it's the one he threw that knocked his T-knobber off and then landed. Don't know which one it was, but check out the video and see if you can figure it out, because we're still a little baffled.
Those are shots. It's like what did we say a little bit ago? Like, we're not done seeing. We don't know what the next weird, crazy shot even is, because that's just the way this sport goes. And it's been exciting. I guess in my world, anybody that's talked to me in the last week knows this, but I am obsessed with doubles. We have been playing some doubles matches at our events, and I'm in love with the way our doubles format is. And then I'm also just in love with like what it's doing for like the game.
Well, as you know, I don't get out of the living room very often. So can you help me out with exactly how these doubles formats work? Because I'm not extremely familiar. I'd love to get involved in it.
So the doubles, the cool thing about the doubles, so it's you and your partner. Unlike some doubles formats in some sports, our doubles format, you are completely and totally reliant on your partner as the match is going on. It's not, I play one guy on their team, you play one guy on the other team. It's, we all play together. So it creates kind of chaos. It creates just kind of craziness. It creates, they're bantering back and forth. They're yelling at their partner. They're talking crap to the other team. The way that you actually throw is, let's call them, team 1 and team 2. Player 1A is going to throw, then player 2A, then player 1B, then player 2B.
So we're getting 12 darts on the table?
Back. It's going to be 8. So that's the other thing is you only shoot 2 darts. So in 8 is still a lot of darts. When you start looking at the board, it's a lot more darts. It's a lot more congested. And the strategy is it's similar, but you have to rely on your partner. So what I like about this doubles format is you can't a good player just can't take over a match. A good player can't, be like, in other doubles formats, if one guy's kind of destroying the other guy, as long as he does it better than maybe his partner is getting destroyed, it can change the game. Not this one. This one, you can't get away with not having your partner do it. And because of that, you're noticing a lot of players that start coaching, like, so you've got
some player coaches.
You got your partner. You got your partner and you need your partner. Like, I need you to put a dart on. I need you to stick, a close dart here and there. I need that kind of stuff. So you start to see them kind of invest in each other, which is fun. And the way we always did doubles is we do it after a singles match. So you are more or less getting somebody from the bottom. If you're a top half player of the bracket, you're going to get a partner on the bottom.
So the teams are randomized a little bit.
You split. Random?
You don't get to pick your team.
So you are going to be no. In these double matches, you are, at least the ones we've been playing, you get to play against somebody. So if I got third, I'm going to play against the person who got third in the bottom half. So, or not against.
Right.
So that would.
So it's kind of like a seeding round to get your partner. Yeah. And where you're seeing I guess I saw we did one on Friday night, a big holiday tournament, here at our local venue. And what was funny is these players who kind of got their butts kicked, around the whole tournament. And as the sport grows, that's going to be, it's the case with any competitive sport. I mean, for there to be a top five, you need people that are at the bottom five, those have to exist, in all sports. But they kind of got their butt kicked. They weren't playing well. Some of them just kind of got caught against really good players. They weren't terrible players themselves. And they kind of were like down. They were, they're the energy in the air, the vibe in the air was like, I don't know if I'm having that much fun. And when we switched it to doubles, and the energy skyrocketed. So these players they're teamed up with somebody that did well. Some of these guys have gone weeks and never competed for anything. One dude has never finished out of like last or second to last. Nice.
And the dude got first place. So it's like he was playing when he played matches that mattered. And he was back in it and he played out of his mind. So it's almost like he kind of like believed in himself all of a sudden, and then and his partner. And
that sounds like a lot of fun.
In my world, I love that.
Can't wait to get involved in one of those tournaments.
And the mass chaos behind, and this is just true, and there's almost no way around it, and I don't want any way around it. The mass chaos in four people kind of sharing boxes and like moving back and forth and getting in and out of each other's way. There has been no way that I've found to really get around it, but it's kind of makes it great as just in general. They're all moving and they're all getting out of there. And one thing I'll tell you on doubles that I think the strategy talk, and it may get, I don't know. I think partners get a real good bonder in doubles because you can change so many strategies, let's say. So if you and I are partners, you're going to be, of course, our better player. I would much rather have you shooting, second in our rotation. But let's say I'm not hitting position A, or let's say they got honors. We can switch up at any time. So we can say, all right, player 1A, you're usually following player, 2A, you're going to be player, 1B. You can switch that at any time you want. So that's really cool because let's say we get honors, you can go first or I can go first. Doesn't matter. The other thing is they are not obligated to stay in the same order either. So if somebody was following you, they can switch it up. So you see this like, strategy. And sometimes I don't know if we're all just overthinking it or if it's all, like in our heads, but sometimes you're like, what's going on? Like, hey, I need you to throw, or I need you to do, whatever. And I think it's funny. I think these players are having a blast with it. I'm going to be pushing it a lot, in these upcoming weeks, because I think the new players, the players that aren't that good, they find this great. At the end of every night, no matter how bad you did, you get to team up and play with somebody
that's
at
a lot
the
of fun.
top half. So that was something I'm a fan of. In anyways, because I like the social aspect of it. I like being able to. I don't know who wants to talk crap to somebody at the bottom half if you're at the top half. You're just language. You're just a jerk. Like you're an absolute jerk. But in doubles, it's like it actually comes out. People are talking, crap to the good players, the players that are still learning the game, and we all just are. You can't do that if you're beating somebody 20.
Right. That's just mean.
You're just a jerk. Yeah, so you naturally there's a ton more like crap talking and it's a good time. So, and I noticed that when we were in Orlando, and that did translate through to these locals.
Oh, for sure.
It's cold again. I don't know if that's if it's still cold there. We had a 45-degree day and it wiped out most of the snow, and now
we've had some 50. I think we even got close to 60 a couple times, but all our snow has been long gone for a little bit, and I think we've got a forecast of 68 degrees for Christmas Day.
I saw that we also have, and ours doesn't quite get there, but I think we have like a 54, 55, which is that's almost that. For those of you who are around the country, that's like Houston. That's like you guys getting a 90-degree day, like that's at least this time of year. So when we get 55,
I mean, up where you're at, when's the last time you had a Christmas over 35 degrees or so? It's been a minute.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while. Yeah. I mean, we don't always have white Christmases, at least lately. There hasn't been a ton, but usually it's cold. I mean, this time of year, we don't usually get.
Yeah. Not usually a t-shirt day.
That's not. No. And I try to wear a t-shirt as often as I possibly can. I don't like the jacket weather. That's not my thing. I got a question for you.
What you got?
How confident rate, you don't have to give it on a 1 to 10, but this one I always find interesting. Like, how confident are you before your first throw of a match? You haven't thrown anything, big match. And then compare that to how confident are you after you've had like your first really bad miss. You've had you missed either the board or maybe it came out of your hand and it dog boned really bad, right away. Where's your confidence level at in those two?
So first throw in a tournament in a public setting is always a little intimidating for me, at least. Colton, Colton's got ice in his veins. It doesn't get to him. But for me, the first round, those first 3 darts kind of set the tone for how the day's going to go. The first dart just gets you past those jitters, and it doesn't take much for me to get past the jitters, but it takes those first 3 darts just to get back into your rhythm, get a feel for what you're doing. You're in a new location, people all around watching you. You got eyes on you, which is different. We've always got eyes on us on YouTube, but I can't see them looking back at me. It's a lot different. So, the confidence is there, but you just gotta confirm it with those first 3 darts. And then that, as far as making a bad shot, it happens. You can't let those bother you, because you're not going to throw perfect darts every time. It's just not possible. And, as far as missing the table or, just having a really bad one, sometimes, especially in a public setting, there might be food. If you're at a bar playing a tournament, there might be food and drinks going around. You get some hot wing sauce on your finger, that dart's not going to fly the same way it did before you got that hot sauce on your finger, because it's going to slip. It's going to probably do a tomahawk or something. You got to keep your hands clean, keep them dry. So, the bad throws, they happen. Get over it real quick, because if you dwell on it, it's just going to ruin the rest of your game.
Yeah, I feel that. And I'm starting. I did it when I was at bowl. I bowl on Wednesdays, and same thing with the dart. So you're at your bar. You're starting to remember either, hey, you got to remember to bring your koozie, otherwise your hand's gonna get, or you got to remember, all right, I always in my non-throwing hand. I don't do this with my throwing hand, because I don't want this this stuff on my fingers. So I've learned that the hard way, and especially you get something. I don't know what it's like, greasy, or not even like greasy, just like there's some substances you can get that you're eating, or it is actually grease, because you're talking like you grab a cheese curd, or you grab a and it's just
even a French fry.
You go wash your hands, and it gets you, and you're kind of stuck with that.
Yeah, it stays on there for a minute
and adjusting. So yeah, I feel you. I always have I always have my bad shot. So for me, after the bad shot does nothing for me, because I know it's coming. I don't know. That's me. Like, I always have that one. Like, it's, I have my airball, my patented airball. I could be killing it, and then I throw one.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little too confident and just let it fly and think that you know what you're doing. You don't put your thought process into it sometimes. I get that. You get a little.
It's that.
Right,
it's a follow through. It's that, and we'll date ourselves, although I think they have a younger kids version of it. But it's like the Space Jam, where you follow through, or you fade away, and you feel like you're in the zone, and
you got to stay in that zone at all times.
You're not in the zone. I agree, but that one doesn't. I don't think it phases me. I think the first dart of the match, if I had to, that's tougher. Because once you've thrown and you played, win or lose, you're feeling
another thing that I've learned in coming out to some tournaments is the first 3 darts that your opponent throws tells you a lot about who you're playing against. If you've never seen the guy play before, or girl, you have no idea what you're going up against. Those first 3 darts for them, I'm paying very close attention to where they're throwing, how they're throwing, and trying to gauge their confidence level to see if I need to really step it up, or if I can just play my steady game and put points on the board that way.
So dive into that more. How so? What about the first 3 throws? So you and I are playing. What do I do that has you, focusing in, or where what do I do that might kind of put you into cruise control? I think that you're rolling.
I'll go back to the game at regionals. I played against a kid from Iowa, Rowan, friend of Cathead kids from the Cathead family. So Rowan came out throwing strong right off the bat. And also he's got kind of an odd throw where he kind of pump fakes a little bit. And that I was catching that in my side eye, and I was like, what is this guy doing? And he's throwing good darts. He's putting them right in position, and he's within 3-4 inches of the target on his first 3 throws. I'm like, okay, I gotta buckle down. I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. I gotta get control of this board, because he had it for the first few rounds. So I got to get control so I can get my first shot in there. And it took a minute. It took me 3 rounds to figure out that this kid is no joke. He's throwing darts, and he's here to play and win. And I gotta step it up. So then I landed a tower on him and took it from there. But it was very, I played against a lot of guys that weekend, and it's just, everybody's different. Every single player. I've not played against 2 guys that throw the same at all, and you just kind of play off their confidence level. You can gauge them as soon as they walk up to the box and see how their confidence level is. And yeah, you just got to pay attention to your opponent.
See, and yet, it's funny hearing you say that, because I was telling, when we were down in Florida, I was telling those guys, I said, I know how I would play against you guys if I was in this tournament. And they were all kind of like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'm a big fan of playing the player. I'm a big fan of kind of seeing what do you like? What is stuff that's going, what makes you comfortable? And then I'm that jerk that will do everything I can to make you uncomfortable, to make you not do what you want to do. And those guys in Florida, they're excellent players, but they're very zoned. They're very, I almost want to say that you could put like a drum beat to the way throw. And I'm like, absolutely not. I would be the reason that we have a shot clock, but I would be the reason that somebody would have to pull it out and actually watch it, because I would get up and they would throw, and then I'd stop and I'd look at them and I'd do this and I'd wait, and because they got a rhythm. They like to go, that was their thing.
Oh yeah.
For me, that's how I would do it, and I think each player, as you look at them and as you're doing it, some of these guys, some of these guys, they have a go-to. They have something they like to do. I mean, we've got guys in our league that I'm starting to notice. I don't care so much about the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really don't. But if I know they have a favorite one, I almost make it my goal to be in their box. Not because they're bad and the other, but like because it's not
right.
where they want to be. Anytime they have to think about anything other than throwing the dart, it makes it more difficult for them. So that part I like. It's that's fun to see. That's fun to do. And it's these guys, like you said, I think that kind of the key is those darts tell a lot about a player, a lot about what they're going into. One of the things that I look for, and I was curious if you were going to mention this one, but I have played against guys that scare me a little bit because they come out and fire for target. They kind of are like, I'm not going, like they almost are like, I'm playing a good player. You know, I'm wondering if you're going to see more of that, or some of these other, players at the top are going to see that, where they go, I'm not going to play a position A game against Mr. T or against Colton. I'm going T-Knobber or bust right out of the gates. I'm going to fire away. And those people kind of make me nervous right. Because you playing against a dude and he throws 2 of his first 3 darts and smokes, yeah, you may have scored some points on him, but this guy's not screwing around. He's going target marker or bust. And I don't know why that intimidates me, because it's like, this guy's got some, he's got some balls. He's going for this, and I get intimidated a little bit by a guy that comes out and chucks the, or I'll have guys that they may not even have, they may not have closest position. They just may not like what they see on the board, and they're like tower. And I'm like, whoa, like this guy's going after, and he's like, well, it's worth 5, right? And I'm like, yeah, it is, but I'm like, all right. So it's those guys, I think maybe it's
exactly. It is. Yeah. It's a guy that
maybe
doesn't understand the game completely, hasn't thrown a whole lot of darts, but has kind of that natural knack for the game. And he just comes in there, not with much of a strategy, just throwing darts. You got to watch out for those guys. They can sneak up on you.
It's that they do. Well, and if you're not on your game, or and almost being on your game, I had a match like this this weekend or a couple of days ago where I was on my game. Everyone was hitting the bottom lip. And then you're trying to tell yourself, well, just don't throw that close to the tower. And then, of course, I got in my head like, what do you mean don't throw that close to the target? Don't what?
Right.
So you get in your own head because you're knocking them off the lippy, at the bottom. And and he was aggressive and he kept going, and he'd get in position, then he'd throw tower. I was like, this guy is wild. Like, he is
unpredictable.
A wild
That's
man.
What's scary.
And he got in my head. Like, there's no doubt like that. Like, there was everything I do to get in other people's head. He was in my head because I was thinking about everything that was not throwing darts, which there's a game within the game. And that will be interesting as everybody gets going. I think that'll be really fun to see how they pull that off. So how these players start to, I can't wait for more of the sideline interviews, more of the, all right, what did you see? What did you notice? Like, I see you normally do this, and this. Why did you change? Well, because he didn't like it. I was just trying to mess with him. Like, I think you're going to get a little bit more of that as,
I've noticed Colton kind of slipped and gave away one of his strategies that he uses against me regularly. So we play against each other a lot, obviously. So we kind of know how each other plays. Now, I've never been one to be quite as devious as Colton when it comes to this, but his strategy for me is to predict where I want to put my dart, and he puts one there first. And he gets it right 90% of the time. And so I'm constantly, if he's got control of the board, I'm constantly struggling on dart placement because he knows where I want to be and he puts one there first.
And that's the those of you watching, that are new to the game, that's where the game goes. That's where your game progresses to, is exactly what you're describing. Is I get a lot of people, it's kind of a simple game, or you throw close and it's kind of a coin flip, as to who's close. Right. That's not it. I mean, some of these guys that start to, as you develop your game, you can put the dart kind of where you want. You can, manipulate, the court, and that's
it does.
That takes skill. It's an incredible skill that some of our best players in the game have, because you can talk strategy all you want if you can't execute said strategy. I mean, so now we just told everybody how to beat Mr. T.
You got to know where I want to go first, though.
Is there anybody but? Yeah, you got to know. And even if Colton stood behind and told
they still
them where you want to go, you got to then execute and put the dart in
no pressure
location. So it's not as easy. Yeah, right. Not like you just click the button and it's going to happen. So it's cool. That's where the game goes. It's where the strategy and the skill is just developing and growing at all these levels, all these events. So speaking of that, I almost got. And for those watching who don't know, there's been some talks, and we've got 15, and I'll explain what these are. 15, and hopefully I get these right, and one of these guys in the comment will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a 15, a 20, a 30, and a 35. And we are creating patches, and you join the club, and it's got to be in an APL sanctioned match, but you can join. I almost joined the 15 club, which is the team and tower in the same round. So, and I think, again, I'd have to go through and look through all the scenarios, and somebody below will explain how you get 35 or how you get all these other rounds, if you will. But I almost joined it. I got the T-Knobber, the first dart of that round, and I shot 2 on the tower, both tinged, and I was like so upset with myself. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So yeah, so I almost got my I almost earned my
patch. That's cool.
Patch. I have not. Yep. Yeah, so we're gonna have patches. So like when somebody does it, as long as it's in a sanctioned event, they just have to email over to me, and we're gonna mail them out a patch that they earn and that they'll forever have as member of the 15 club, which is I know DJ threw one in regionals, so everybody's seen DJ's so he's got, technically we probably created the club right after that, so he's probably,
I believe so,
in the club. And it's hard to do, and the fact that was my first opportunity and I didn't quite get it but I was close.
No pressure now that there's patches,
No, it's
I love it. Now I'm going to really try to be going for it, though, so I can try to get that patch. I'm probably going to lose some points because I'm trying for something like that, which was part of my problem on virtual night the other night. I got really greedy for the T-Knobber and I bounced so many darts off of that target, and I had a terrible. I won my first 2 games, the seeding rounds, but then I lost 2 in a row and instantly out of the tournament. Just getting way too greedy, going for big points.
Virtual, that is, again, we all know it's a different game, it's a different strategy, but I'm the same way. And when you watch the players though that win, there's not many of them that are winning the third place games or advancing. I mean, there were 16 people that night. The top 3, those scores were all had some level of a specialty.
I think top score 36 points.
36 that night, and there was a bunch of 32s. I think there was a 34 in there. So those are tough scores to hit. Those are tough scores to beat. So you, as much as you don't like losing by going for it, you kind of have you kind of have to if you want to continue to go and continue to. I hit a tower. Speaking of knowing your opponent and knowing what you have to do to beat him, I was playing Cole. This is who I lost to in my first match of virtual, and I might have told the field. I might not have. I don't know. But I was like, I'm shooting tower right off the get-go. And they're like, what? I go, I'm confident enough that I can get my 3-point dart with my last 2. I'm shooting the first 4 at the tower. And I'm like, I got to do something to beat this guy. This guy, Cole, ranked number 1 in the world. Does not miss much. He is a very good player. And I was like, I got to go tower on him. If I got to knock this guy down, I got to hit at least 1 tower, 2 towers. If I get 2 towers in 4 rounds, I think I got a chance at,
And when you're throwing at that tower, you've got yourself positioned to where if you do miss, you still have a pretty good chance of hitting the table. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I love going after the tower. I would say a couple weeks ago, a month ago, I would have said no. The guys at the events can't figure out why I almost have a tower shot like every round. I like if I have position, I'm lining up and I'm going for it. I'm giving it a go. There's 5 points in it. I don't know. That's the free dart. I'm trying to get rid of the free dart in my game. I don't want that 1 point dart. I want a chance. If I can get my tower shot dialed in, I want a chance to get that.
Let's talk tower versus target real quick comparison. So I believe that the surface is the exact same size, if not very close, the top of the target and the top of the tower. But the tower is a piece of steel. It's a piece of powder-coated metal. It's solid. It does not have any flex to it, where the target obviously is silicone, same material as the darts, very flexible, very wiggly. What do you think which one do you think has the advantage to hold on to a dart better if you have not a perfect throw? You understand my question?
I think I do. And man, this is, I don't know if Jason or Josh watch our podcasts regularly, but maybe they're going to, because they're going to know they're going to know the science and the reason. But my gut reaction is it has to be the tower. It just, to me, I feel like it is. Now, the reason I say that is the flexing, while people may think it's an advantage, it kind of, I've had it flex and toss my dart back. I've had it flex and do all sorts of things. I've heard you, those of you that played know what we're about to say, but the ting of the tower is not me hitting it with enough of the dart. That's not but I have hit a target marker with more than enough. I've hit enough where it makes the darn suction sound and then pops off. So yeah, I think surface wise, the tower absolutely is easier to stick it to. I think it's going to be a more if you're hitting true shots, I think it's going to be it's going to stick more.
Okay. More frequently. I think I might have a different thought on that, just and solely based on darts that I've seen land. I've seen them land on the target where 30% of the dart is off of the target, but it's still stuck. It may not be stuck great. You might be able to knock it off pretty easy with another dart, but it's still stuck on there for now. And I've not seen that a whole lot with the tower. I don't see a whole lot of tower sticks where you've got 30-ish% of the dart hanging off the lip or hanging off the edge of that. So I think maybe the flexibility in the top of that target marker maybe gives you a little more forgiveness on those not perfect lands.
And yeah, and that could be, and it could be that it's suction to suction too. So maybe there is some advantage to catching a little bit or a lot of it. My question, there's no way to really know, is if you made the tower the same height as the target marker, would you get more of those 30% sticks? Would you get, because I feel like with it being so high, people are kind of, let's just put it this way, you cannot. We call them snipers, but the guys that like to throw the low and indirect shots, they're not big tower fans because they have to get, I guess I would call it the angle by which some of those, shots are coming into the tower have to be more high arcing, have to be, so it's a little bit harder to like kind of clip little pieces and of the tower. But yeah, I'd be incredibly interested to see, and I absolutely am going to text Jason and then ask him what the scientific answer is, because I know those guys know. He only got into it a little bit, but he's nerded out to me before on how much curve was in the target, like the concave and in the target marker to maximize, the sound and the stick, and
how long you have to put it in the dryer to make it just right.
How many quarters it takes to take the warp out of a dart, but he's got to have the answer. And when I get it, I'll bring it back to everybody, because that's absolutely. It's funny that we got two different opinions on it. I see yours. I definitely see a lot more goofy, weird kind of sticks and, to the target marker than you do the tower. But I also wonder, in the scheme of all darts thrown today, from beginning of time to today, is it because more people were shooting it? How many more shots have you taken at a target?
That's definitely part of it.
Tower. Just something to think about and to look at. But yeah, I'm becoming a fan of the tower. So more and more and more as I play, I see what it does to a round too. I mean, if I have position, that's 8 right off the bat. If I hit my other dart, I'm at 9. And
if you don't have position, you can flip flop the points real easy with the tower shot. If it's too congested in front of the target to try to get anything safe in there, and you know that there's no chance of getting a close dart, then tower can be your best friend, your best ally in that situation.
Yeah, and it's always there. It's kind of sitting in that front corner. It's kind of it should be a lot easier. It should that's how the tower's always like. In my head, it's kind of mocking me. It's like, come get me. We set you almost 2 feet closer.
Right.
Like, what do you mean you're not coming after me? Like, why not? So, I think you're going to see a lot more tower shots. I have this feeling that the tower was not as big of a thing in the last year. I think it's going to be, especially in the APL play. Just exactly what you said. The more the skill increases in the game, the more position 8 gets clogged, the more that area it gets harder to play in, and I guess trade-off is going to be shoot tower, man. Shoot tower because the trade-off of your free dart is if you can't get in there, you can't do anything. I'm shooting tower. I'm going to take that 4-point swing versus chucking a dart to the empty space. May not be, maybe. Again, there will be statistics. There's for people who are wondering, and we're gonna get Ben on the podcast at some point from Scoreholio. But for everybody that wants to nerd out on your pop darts, there are going to be, I believe, 12 trackable statistics within pop darts coming up, in January. So that's really exciting to see that you're gonna be able to track all of that. Track how many times you're the closest, what percentage of your darts land in T-knobbers, what percentage of your darts land in, wiggle knobbers, what percentage, all of that stuff. It's going to be, for those that like to know their game, we're about to find out who hits a T-knobber in the highest percentage, nationwide. And that's pretty cool. Those are cool stats. That's a fun one. I want to see if how do I put this? I want to see what stat most correlates with wins and losses. I want to see who, when I look at the top 10 rated players, I want to see what stat do I sort that puts those top 10, or multiple stats that put those top 10 in, is it may not be T-knobber percentage, maybe that's not a percentage that it is, but maybe it's because I know they're going to track.
Okay. That's what I was going to say. Just your land percentage.
They're going to be tracking that. They're going to be tracking what percentage of the time you land the closest dart. So those are things that I'll be interested to see what stat kind of is the driver of wins losses. What stat, and that might change how people play the game. It may change what you concentrate on. If if you're
definitely going to make you think about everything a little more, and it's going to put a little time in between rounds too, because I assume you'll have to manually input some information every round.
Yeah, he's going to have like buttons. So like, you can click it and say, so when you put your score in, you're just going to click T-knobber, boom, so that's stuff that Ben will have. So shouldn't add too much to the scorekeeping because he's building that to match. But that's pretty cool. At least I think that
I love that. Yeah, being able to see your stats on how you do and compare them to everybody else. That's gonna make we could have like a end of year reward ceremony for highest T-knobber percentage and stuff like that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think we'll probably do something like that at Nationals. Probably do something where we kind of reward somebody or get somebody out there for holding. I'm hoping that there's some percentage. I'm hoping there's somebody. I'm going to take Ben's statistics and do something funny with them, which is something along the lines of this guy's got the worst T-knobber percentage for a top 100 thrower or something just funny like that. Cause I think those are that it'll be a blast. Once we can track all these stats, somebody's going to have something. There's going to be a player that emerges. I don't go after that, or I don't do that. Like there's going to be somebody's going to say, watch this episode and go, I'm not going for the tower. He's an idiot. Like I'm not doing that. And then you look at their stats and they're not lying. They've got like a 0.0001, tower percentage or something, one of the lowest. So those will be fun stats for me to kind of look into and see what the players are doing. And I wonder what stat players will enjoy the most or like follow in their own game the most. I feel like T-Knobber percentage.
I mean, it's the home run of Pop Darts. Yeah.
The first one first one I'm looking at. As soon as that clicks off, I want to see where my Tina, because how do you say it? Like that is something you can't necessarily like fake in terms of like how decent you are. Like if you're hitting T-Knobbers, you can't
not consistently.
You can't fake hitting that. I mean, no. So it shows, even if you haven't played that many games and you haven't played, lots of them, you can look at a guy that's played 70 games and another guy's played 70 games and go, that guy hits a T-Knobber twice as often. That's impressive. That's a lot more T-Knobbers. So I like that. I like that one a lot, actually. So what's something, Pop Darts or otherwise, that you've changed your mind about recently? I feel like I answer this almost once a week. I'm changing my mind on something and doing it. But what's something you've changed your mind on?
So I think I'm going to have to go with incorporating some house rules into league plays. Like I know at your league plays at Mad City, you've got some house rules that you've incorporated into your game, whereas like you have the leaner, you count as a point. One of our rules, our house rules that I really like that we play, if you miss all 3 darts, if you have 0 darts standing on the table or target or tower or anything, you lose a point that round because you've just, if you can't land one, you lose a point. It's just a penalty. And so I think, maybe at some point incorporating some house rules into even if it's just local game, tournament play, obviously not on the ESPN, when we get to the big stage, but, in the local games, especially like when we start doing these, the doubles, having some, because then now you've got 4 darts. So the odds of not landing one are going to be a little less, but I think that's fun. I think bringing in some fun home rules into the tournaments would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, and I would encourage. We were talking to some of the guys in Florida that are running them, and they're starting to build some pretty big local tournaments, and I'm like, that's the time where it's like, hey, I don't care if there's 40 people there. If you got a house rule and you're running a local, I don't care if it's 16 people or if you get that local up to 30, go ahead. Like that's supposed to be. I want to know what the rule is. What did you do? What was the reaction? My house rules have little to no impact on the game. My leaner is not something. I mean, we see that.
Sure.
Maybe once every other week.
Not at all.
Not very often. It's not a common, shot, but it's funny when it lands. Everybody laughs. It's a good, it's a good time. I like the negative one. I think that's funny. I threw it. So I don't know if this is something that like I should be proud of, but like I remember almost every time I'm playing like in a match, like in a sanctioned match, and I get none to stick. I had one against my buddy Jake, and I more or less I picked up my dart and like I almost just threw it across the room. I'm like free board, because I always call it a free board. Yeah. Like that's what I call it. Like when if I do that, I gave you a free board. Like I gave you. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't even have to be anywhere near the marker to get points. So I get really mad when I so that negative point. I wouldn't do. I mean, I'd take it, but I would.
I know it. It's so aggravating. And it's not like you just threw 3 darts and just completely whiffed the table. It's because they're bouncing off of that target. No.
Yes. Well, the free board was I hit 2 off the target marker. And then I was like, I can't give you a free board. And I threw it, and I kind of like stuck it like in my fingers a little bit, and it dog ball and it rolled off. I'm like,
yep.
Kidding. Like, come on. I wasn't at the time I wasn't even going to go for the marker. I wasn't even going for closest dart.
Yeah, just trying to throw a safe dart.
This guy. Yeah, there's nothing more irritating than a free board. So yeah, that's you get 3 darts, man. Like get the dart to stick.
Exactly.
my opinion on it. So, well, do we want to introduce some of these videos and get these guys seeing what I think is one of the most I don't know. Maybe we're just weird dudes, but like
it's funny.
This is funny. This is great. So to give you guys a little bit of a background on what we're about to throw out here, we have 2 segments, and they are, the first one is called a Gen Z Dictionary, and this is where we are going to have somebody who's Gen Z, and we give them a script. They don't get to make this up. We give them a script, but what we do is we take it and make it as boomer as we can get. We go in there and we try to throw as many boomer like slangs and there's just all the euphemisms and all the different things that we can, and we over the top this thing, and then we make a Gen Z guy read it. So that's the first one. But we thought, man, if we're going to kind of pick on the boomers, and make the Gen Z read it, we got to do the other.
Absolutely.
We got to do the opposite, right? We got to go get a boomer. And that leads us to old school replay is what we call that segment. And this is where we have a boomer come in, give him a script. Again, they don't see these scripts prior to us having them read them on camera, which also is funny because they are great, and we make them read a script using almost purely Gen Z slang terminology, etc. So this week they are now, without further ado, the boomer and the Gen Z are going to explain to the What's Poppin' world how to throw a pop dart and how to score.
Can't wait.
Here we go.
Gen Z's Dictionary.
All right, kid, listen up. First things first, grab the dart towards the back end. No, not that end. The other end. Use 2 or 3 fingers. No need to grab it like you're hanging on a cliff. Now here's where your youngsters mess it up. Don't choke it. Hold it loose like you're holding exact change or a hot slice of pizza. Next thing, and this is important, you're not really throwing it, you're pushing it forward. Kind of like when you used to fold a paper airplane in study hall and send it gliding before the teacher noticed. You want that dart to float through the air real smooth. No spinning, no tomahawk nonsense. If it's twisting around, you're doing too much. The whole idea is it to land as close as possible to the little orange dot. That's the target. Yes, I know it looks small, life's like that. Scoring works like this. 3 points if your dart is the closest. 1 point for any other dart that sticks. But here's the twist. We use cancellation scoring, so pay attention and don't just start celebrating. You play until someone hits 21 points, which is a good number because it reminds me of blackjack and back when gas was affordable. Most important rule of all, have fun. It's a game. Relax. You'll get it. Nobody was good their first time, not even me, and I'm basically a legend.
Old school replay.
Okay, bestie, lock in. Grab the dart from the back, not the front. That's villain behavior. Use 2 or 3 fingers. If your whole hand is involved, you're already doing too much. We need to reset. Now loosen up, like mentally and physically. If you're squeezing it, it's like you owes you money. You're giving boomer panic. Loose grip, soft hands, calm aura. Next thing, and this is important, you are not throwing it. We don't do that here. You're more like releasing it gently from the timeline. Imagine a paper airplane you folded in class and believed in. Just a tiny push forward. No yeet, no full send. Let the dart decide its destiny. The dart should glide, smooth, effortless, silent confidence. If it's spinning, if it's wobbling, if it looks stressed, yeah, That's an L. The dart is cooked. Start over. Your goal is to land it as close as possible to the tiny orange dot. Yes, that microscopic one. The dot is the main character. Everything else is just background NPCs. Scoring works like this. 3 points if you're the closest. Huge W, stand up. 1 point for any other dart that sticks. Still valid, still counts. But, plot twist, we use cancellation scoring. So, if someone cancels you out, that's tragic. That's cinema. You played at 21 points because that number just feels right and nobody questioned it. Final note, and I mean this with peace and love. Just 5. If you're mad, that's on you. If you miss, blame the dart. If you win, act like you've been there before. Congrats. You now throw Pop Darts. Low-key goated behavior.
God. Wow. That is, and I'm probably going to clip enough of us just laughing through there.
So good.
That is unbelievable. I don't know that could have gotten any better, and that was great. So, hey, if anybody wants us to, or has an idea, we started with throw a Pop Dart. We started with, just how to hold and throw a Pop Dart, and that was awesome. That we appreciate both of our
yes.
willing participants in joining us on that. That was, oh man, I hope everybody else enjoyed that as nearly as much as I did. Because
it was awesome. Yeah,
that was fun. That I can't wait to do another one of those, and that I had a blast. So let's grab a fan mailbag and see what we have here.
I've got one for you. You've been around a lot more players than I have so far. So what's one unwritten Pop Darts rule that everyone just seems to know?
You're always cheering, I guess. It's kind of the weird unwritten rule. I've seen players who don't necessarily have a giddy, silly personality or sense of who they are, and they still at like T-knobbers and towers and they still kind of get giddy and high five there, even if it's being done against them. So I don't think anybody has ever told me, and I've never told anybody that that's a rule, that's something that you high five your opponent when they kick your butt, but that seems to be an unwritten rule. I agree. It's that you just are, that you cheer on your opponent, and like you may not love it, but it's awesome. Like, so I would say that's one that I think is
because T-knobbers are awesome no matter who gets it.
I think that's an unwritten rule. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any other unwritten rules out there. I'm sure that there are. Here's one that's going from unwritten to written, which is so you get what's written is you get one time out of match in APL play. The unwritten rule that we've been more or less subscribing to is if you're seeking which dart is closer. In other words, if you need a measurement, it doesn't go towards your timeout. That's been an unwritten rule that we're probably going to officially write into the rules, because there's just, as these players are getting better and we're noticing it a lot, it's important to know, if you have the closest dart, and it shouldn't work, against a timeout. And if you need to know 3 times in a match because you guys are that good and you guys are that close to each other, you should get to check all 3 times because it's important.
I like that.
So I guess that's an unwritten rule that I think that we're going to write into it, is anything distance related, or and that if there's referees, great. If your opponent is like, no, that's not close, if you can tell and they're just doing it to mess with you, then that could be taken as a timeout or forced to use their timeout. But for the most part, no, both opponents want to know.
Yeah, just don't take advantage of it.
So that would be another one that I think is unwritten in the sport. I'm trying to think if there's any that are more fun or more silly, but those would be the big kind of.
I mean, there's the unwritten Pop Darts etiquette, rules. I would call it. Where you don't start walking forward before the last person's thrown their last dart. And just give each other your space that you need to throw. If you got to, I like to move around in my box a little bit depending on where I'm going on the table. So, just that Pop Darts etiquette, I like to call it.
Yeah, the fans and the spectators are a lot more wild and funny and say things, and and it's not a quiet environment for those people that haven't been to one, but your opponent is not. I've never really seen an opponent like I don't know even to say like make noises or try to just like
No.
that's something
Yeah.
I've never. It's not written that you can't, but I don't see that taking. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of another. Yeah, that's a really good unwritten rule. There's
Yeah.
just basic.
Nobody's walking around with air
etiquette,
horns in their
like, oh,
pocket trying to distract their opponents.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, here's another one I see in here. What's worse, losing badly or losing slowly?
Let's see. So losing badly, I would say, is kind of like a skunk, where you just get skunked 21-0, and Colton's done it to me many times. Those are pretty rough. Losing slowly, so I'm thinking losing slowly is kind of a close game the whole time, where it could be a 20-20 match, and it comes down to that last round. That's not nearly as bad as just getting completely skunked, not even putting a point on the board. That kind of stuff, that's just embarrassing. You just erase that from memory and move on to the next game, because whatever happened there needs to not happen again.
So I'm gonna go, and I agree. Other than the way I saw this was losing slowly is you never really had control of the game. I don't know if you've played games like this, but I have played games where if it's you and me, you get the early lead and I'm clawing. And what I mean by that is maybe you're right. Maybe it is, you get 3 and then I go get 2. But my 2 weren't good darts, or my 2 didn't feel like I was doing much. Like I'm clawing, but every time I get within a point, then you take your 3 to 5, or you take your 3 to 6, and then I claw and I get a point, and maybe I get another point. And that's how I viewed it. And that to me can be agonizing, where it's almost like put me out of my misery. I'm not getting you. Like, no matter what I'm doing, I'm not getting you. But I keep feeling like I am.
Yeah.
I keep feeling, like I'm clawing back and like I'm doing that. So that's how I
took
it.
It does.
That sucks. That's a terrible match where you what do they say? The scoreboard is not indicative of the match. Like, so just because it was 18-21 does not mean I was ever.
I get that
like,
too.
Truly, like I've played matches like that. So that's how I read that. If it's back and forth, yeah, I'd choose the losing badly as over losing slowly. If it was back and forth, but the way I took that was I just had never had a chance, and I made myself feel like it, and that would be brutal. So that one would be that one eats me. All right, I got one more before we call it, and then we're going to call it for an episode. And I think for Unhinged, no theme.
This was fantastic. Yeah, we just kept rolling.
So, if the league banned alcohol, so if the APL steps up and bans alcohol for a big event, who's not showing up to the event?
Are you going to be there? What if they ban rock stars?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then I don't know that you want me there. I don't know that I could function there. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to put me at the top of the list of people that may not make it. But I'll have a beer ahead.
A little pregame.
Maybe. Yeah. Something. Yeah. You definitely would have a much smaller showing from the Midwest, I would think, than otherwise. In Wisconsin, I would find that to be.
That's how you guys keep warm up there, isn't it?
I'm going to do that. We're going to go. It'll be at a bar or something. And be like, hey, just so everybody knows, like, as an APL sanctioned event, no alcohol is permitted. So you guys can't drink. And I just want to look at the faces.
Yeah, five guys just stand up and walk out.
That's like, I'm out. Like, see you guys later. Like, we'll do this. We'll do this a different time. So yeah, that was funny. That was good. And oh man, those guys had me roll. I don't think I've laughed
that
harder
was
than
so
watching them read that. And next week we're going to be jumping in. We're down to 3 episodes. So one of the next 2 weeks we'll have a guest, and then we've talked about episode 10 is going to be a recap. So as we've been telling people, drop your favorite moments. We're going to try to revisit our favorite moments from season 1, and you can look forward to. It doesn't have to be a surprise, but you guys can look forward to another little mini Christmas episode. So we'll just jump in and say hi to you guys. We won't keep you long on your Christmas holiday, but we'll jump in, say hi, and everybody enjoy your family, enjoy your family time, enjoy the holidays.
Same to you.
You as well. I know we'll talk soon.
Commish, before we end this one officially, I have a challenge to present to you. All right. So I know you got your swap top boards recently, right? All right. So my challenge is we're going to play on, let's do the skee ball board, or the, whatever they call the skee ball board. So we'll play it kind of virtual rules. So we'll throw 4 rounds of 6 darts, and the most points between us wins. 24 darts.
I like that. What's our distance on this? 17? Or what are they, 17?
All right.
I like that. And I'm gonna throw that one. I got my daughter has been she's taken over the board, so I'm gonna have to. She has been, and she obsessed with the football.
I can't quite grasp the football one. I'm not a football fan. I don't dislike football. I just don't follow it. I don't know the rules. That hard side of the football game is way over my head. I just don't understand it. We could probably do a whole episode of you explaining how to do that one.
Oh, that it's she won't do that one. She won't do any of the sides that have the negatives. That just irritates the heck out of her. So she that my daughter just is not, because we were doing the golf and she's like, I want to try the other side. And we played 1 round and I'm like, you got negative. And she loves math. She goes, you got negative. I don't like this. I don't like
that's bad vibes. That's bad aura.
Bad vibes. I don't like that. So so she'll take a 0, but she's not taking a -3. That annoys her. So I'll see if she'll let me steal that back and run that challenge. But I'm in. And I don't even know I can't make a guess because I don't even know how those are scored yet. We've mostly played golf and football, so I'd have to go.
Yeah, I don't know what the maximum potential is, but that could be hard to even figure out.
And we're throwing 6 darts, 4 rounds. All right. I'm not.
No, I'm not going to either. I'll throw pros.
Okay. I tried with my daughter, and I can't.
They're a little different.
Those things. So I switched to throwing. To throwing pros.
We'll throw pros.
With her, so
perfect.
I'm throwing pros. Perfect.
Awesome.
I'm in. Challenge accepted.
Same to you, sir.
Good luck.
See you guys next time.
All right. Take care.
Almost nailed it.
First things first. Grab the dart towards the back end. No, not that end. What? I'm gonna laugh. Okay, wait. Can he cut that?
Yep.
Smooth. No spinning. No helicopter nonsense. What is it? Nonsense? Real smooth. No spinning. No helicopter nonsense. I can't do that part. I said helicopter. Much. Okay, I got that part.
Okay.
Does this look good or does it look weird with my arms out? Okay, bestie. Lock in. Grab the dart from the back, not the front end. That's villain behavior. Use 2 or 3 fingers. I'm gonna start over. Back, not the front end. That's villain. One more time. Okay, bestie.
Back when gas was affordable.
That's all right. Throwing is aggressive. We don't do that here.
Boomer panic.
You're squeezing it like it owes you money. That's getting boomer panic.
Into the timeline.
Look at this one. Imagine a paper airplane you folded in class and believed in. Is it spinning? Is it wobbling? If it looks stressed, that's an L. The dart is cooked. If you're mad, that's on you.
That's another round of What's Poppin', the most satisfying sports podcast in the world with Mr. T and the Commish. The only place where Suction Cups and Smack Talk collide. Follow the madness on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at What's Poppin' Podcast. And catch every episode wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, keep your aim tight and your suction strong.